Attraction, it's like this silent negotiation, isn't it? Happening sort of underneath the actual words.
Absolutely. It's all there in the tiny things, micro expressions, how someone shifts their weight, little gestures you might think nobody sees.
Yeah, and that's the trick, right? Figuring out if what you're seeing is a real signal, something subconscious, or if, you're just kind of hoping it is.
Exactly. It's that primal
Hmm.
unspoken language. Are you reading it right? That's the challenge for you, the observer.
So today we want to move past the really obvious stuff, the big smile or the direct stare.
Hmm.
We're diving into the psychological tells. We've got this stack of observations, and the idea is to give you the surprising clues, the ones that really tell a story about interest.
Yeah, we're aiming for the shortcuts here, finding those unconscious signals the body sends out before the brain uh, catches up and puts on a filter.
Because being able to read those signals, well, that's key to being socially aware, isn't it? Really understanding what's going on.
Paramount. Observation skills are crucial.
Okay, so let's unpack this, starting with how someone positions themselves, orientation and proximity. It's amazing how much intention is revealed just by, well, where someone stands.
It really is. The body acts like an emotional compass sometimes. And one of the most reliable, but often missed, signals is the direction of the feet.
The feet. Okay, tell me more. I always assumed if someone's feet pointed towards the door, they just wanted to bail on the conversation.
Well, that can be true, of course. But think about the opposite. You're talking to someone, and their feet, they stay pointed directly at you the whole time.
Even if it looks a bit awkward.
Especially then, perhaps.
Yeah,
It's showing an unconscious physical commitment to you, to the interaction. People focus on faces, eye contact,
right.
but the feet, they often show where the person really wants to be, where their focus is locked. If they're rooted towards you, their energy is directed at you. It's a powerful sign.
Okay, that's a good one, like a weather vane for interest. So what about in a group? It gets more complicated then.
It does. Yeah. Let's talk about body angling. Picture this. You're in a group, maybe 4 or 5 people chatting,
Mm-hmm.
but one person consistently angles their body, their torso, their shoulders towards you, even when someone else is talking, or the focus shifts.
So they're physically leaning into my space almost.
Not necessarily leaning in, but orienting towards you.
Yeah.
It suggests they're emotionally tuned into you. They're prioritizing your reaction, your connection, sort of above the main flow of the group chat.
Creating like a mini two-person bubble within the group.
Exactly. It's a subtle way of saying, I'm with you in this larger setting.
Which leads us nicely to the next point, actually closing the distance. This one seems more obvious, maybe.
It can be, but the subtlety matters. Imagine there's plenty of room, nobody's crowded,
Right.
yet the person talking to you leans in just that little bit closer, shrinks the gap between you.
Okay, so it's not just because they can't hear well or they're a close talker in general.
It could be those things, but often, especially if combined with other signals, it's more. It's a subconscious pull, a desire for closeness. They're reducing that standard personal space buffer, seeking connection physically.
Less space equals more interest.
Right.
Got it.
Precisely.
Okay, so that covers the body's sort of physical commitment.
Yeah.
What about the stuff happening inside, the things we can't really control?
Ah, yes. The involuntary signals. This is where it gets really interesting because these cues can reveal the internal state, sometimes regardless of the words being used. Let's talk eyes first.
Okay. Eye contact.
Prolonged eye contact specifically, but with a particular rhythm.
What kind of rhythm?
They hold your gaze maybe just a beat longer than is typical for, normal conversation. Then, importantly, they might give a tiny smile and then glance down quickly before looking back up at you.
Okay, so hold, smile, look down, look back up. Why is that sequence significant?
That specific combination, the slightly prolonged gaze showing intensity, the smile acknowledging it, and that quick downward glance. It's often a sign of attraction mixed with a bit of self-consciousness or shyness.
So they feel the connection, maybe get a little flustered by it.
Exactly. They're acknowledging the intensity, but also briefly processing that feeling. It's different from someone just zoning out. They wouldn't usually have that specific sort of self-aware break.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, now for the really biological stuff. Pupil dilation. You notice their pupils look bigger, and it's not because the lights went down.
This one is fascinating because it's almost impossible to consciously control. It's a direct line to the autonomic nervous system.
Wow. So what does it mean?
It's a strong indicator of emotional arousal. Now, arousal can mean fear or excitement too, but in a positive social context if you see pupils dilate.
It means they're engaged.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Highly engaged, yes. Their brain is focused intently on something or someone it finds stimulating or desirable. The pupils expand to literally take in more of what they're focused on. It's a very, very reliable signal, assuming the lighting hasn't changed.
That's a really useful one to know. Okay, sticking with involuntary actions mirroring, what's going on there?
Mirroring is when someone unconsciously copies your movements. You cross your arms, a second later they cross theirs. You take a sip of your drink, they reach for theirs. It can even be matching breathing patterns or blinking.
Huh. I might think they were making fun of me if I noticed that.
It's almost never mockery. It's actually a sign of a deep subconscious connection. It shows they're highly attuned to you, to your rhythm, your vibe.
So their brain is basically saying, I'm like you.
Pretty much. It's processing you so intensely that it starts adopting your physical patterns. It's a way the brain tries to build rapport and show alignment way below conscious thought. We naturally like people who move like us.
Okay, so we've covered the body's position and those internal involuntary signals. What about nervous energy? That kind of flustered excitement.
Yes, that's another big area. Nervous energy often happens when attraction is sort of bubbling up and the person's trying to manage it. How they handle that feeling can be very revealing.
Like those little grooming gestures, the head tilt and maybe brushing hair back.
Exactly. They might tilt their head while listening or laughing at something you said, maybe run a hand through their hair, adjust their shirt cuff, fiddle with a necklace.
What did those signal? Just nerves.
They're classic nervous excitement signals. It shows self-consciousness, but it's tied directly to the interaction with you. They suddenly become aware of how they look. They want to look good for you. That little adjustment is like a mini performance, managing their self-image in your presence because they care about your perception.
Okay. And related to nerves. General fidgeting. Tapping a foot, playing with a ring, clicking a pen.
Fidgety.
Now, hold on. This one feels tricky. How do we know if it's nervous interest versus just anxiety? Or boredom, even? Couldn't fidgeting mean they want to leave?
That's the crucial question. And you're right. You can't interpret fidgeting in isolation. It's all about context and clusters.
Clusters.
Looking for other signals happening at the same time. Are they fidgeting, but their feet are still pointed right at you?
Yeah.
Did they just mirror your posture? Are they holding good eye contact despite the fidgeting?
I see. So if the other signals are positive...
Then the fidgeting is more likely nervous interest. The energy is restless because the interaction is heightened for them. They're a bit flustered by you in a good way. If they were bored or anxious to leave, you'd likely see other cues, feet pointing away, breaking eye contact, angling their body towards an exit.
Okay, that nuance is really important. Look for the cluster. Got it.
Yeah.
Now, what about laughter? You make a really terrible joke, a dad joke, basically, and they laugh, like really laugh, harder than the joke deserves.
Affiliative humor. Laughter is fundamental to building connections. If they laugh hard at a weak joke, it's often not just politeness.
What is it then?
They probably like you and they want to show it.
Yeah.
They're using laughter, even exaggerated laughter, as a tool. It lowers social tension. It reinforces the bond. It says, I enjoy being here with you, regardless of whether your pun landed perfectly. They're actively building that connection.
They're laughing with me, not necessarily at the joke.
Precisely. They're bonding.
Okay. And the final signal, kind of bringing it full circle physically. The light touch when saying goodbye.
Yes. The conversation is ending, you're parting ways, and as they smile, they briefly, lightly touch your arm, or maybe your shoulder, even your hand for a second.
Why is that little touch so significant?
Because physical contact signifies closeness, intimacy. Even that fleeting touch breaks the standard barrier. It establishes a connection that goes beyond just friendly words. They're confirming, non-verbally, that they want that physical connection, even for just a moment. It creates a positive little anchor to the interaction.
Right. It leaves a different kind of impression.
Definitely.
So we've gone through these 10 signals: feet, body angle, leaning in, eye contact patterns, pupils, mirroring, head tilts, fidgeting clusters, laughter, and the goodbye touch. But just knowing the list isn't enough, is it? The real skill is in the interpretation.
Absolutely. And the key, as we touched on with fidgeting, is stacking. Seeing one signal in isolation. It could mean anything. Maybe their feet hurt. Maybe they're naturally fidgety. Maybe the lighting did change.
It could be an anomaly.
Exactly. But when you see several signals together, the feet are pointed at you and they lean in, and you notice their pupils seem larger,
Ah,
and they laughed hard at your bad joke.
that's a cluster.
That's a cluster. That's multiple pieces of data pointing in the same direction. That tells a much more reliable story than any single sign on its own. You have to observe these things working together to filter out noise like basic friendliness or general anxiety.
So proficiency isn't just knowing the signs, it's seeing the pattern, paying attention to those quiet signals that show focus and intent.
It's listening to that silent conversation, the one happening through the glances, the posture shifts, the nervous energy, the things most people honestly just miss because they're only listening to the words.
It really underscores how much communication is nonverbal.
So much of it.
Yeah.
The body's constantly broadcasting data about focus, interest, arousal. Understanding this, well, it transforms your social awareness. It gives you confidence in reading situations, reading people.
So as you, our listener, go about your day, maybe keep this in mind, that idea about the power of silence in connection.
Sometimes the quietest signs really do say the loudest things.
So use this knowledge, this awareness, use it wisely. Keep your eyes open.
Pay attention to the feet, the eyes, the little unconscious movements. You're now better equipped to observe that silent language happening all around you.